it's the politicians' fault. It's Joe Biden's fault. And the rest of that administration that took us down this path as a very hands-off, laissez-faire manner, it's incomprehensible to me that we can have thousands of Americans, tens of thousands of Afghans trapped now at Kabul when we had three very usable air points of debarkation at Bagram, Kabul, and Kandahar. We gave up Bagram and Kandahar, and now we have a line of communication going into Kabul airport, and it's not hard to figure out for the Taliban. And this failure is epic proportions. Biden has armed the Taliban. The Taliban now has, I want to say, about the 30th or 40th largest air force in the world, because they've got Black Hawks, they've got MiGs, they've got Hinds, they've got drones, and it's not so much they're using it, though that concerns me, but it's the intelligence exploitation that will happen with Iran and China as they sell it, and even Pakistan. So there's a lot of second and third order effects here. The first issue right now is to protect Americans and to make sure that this lack of planning, this lack of due diligence does not lead to significant or any loss of life on Americans. Because the president's first responsibility, which he shirked, is to protect American lives and property. They wrote off the property. They've given that over to the Taliban. Now let's at least try to get the lives right.
Could you address this point that I've heard a lot of people make during the last few days, which is there was a way of avoiding this. It wasn't this kind of choice between staying there forever and this kind of frantic retreat. There could have been a more organized plan. Do you agree with that, and what would that have looked like?
Yeah, so absolutely, Steve. One of the things that we did in the Trump administration was when we reduced force, we did it over the winter. So we took it down to about 2,500. I performed the duties of Undersecretary of Defense for Policy and was involved in the management of force level there. And we did it in the winter where the snow is there, the Taliban's resting across the border, and you have some bandwidth, some space to breathe, to assess things, and to engage diplomatically. So that was one issue. I couldn't believe that they did this in the summer at the peak of fighting season when all the paths into everywhere are wide open. So I would not have advised, nor did we do this during the summer. The second thing is that when you take a hard look at the political engagement of the Taliban, there was a path there to at least have some political solution, or at least to get them vested in the political solution. But the Biden administration shut down those talks, decided they wanted nothing to do with that, because remember, the Biden foreign policy is just to do everything opposite of the Trump, regardless of what the outcomes are. And so this is the logical extension of that. When you're so amateurish that you're believing your own press releases by the mainstream media, that has a role here. They have some blame here because they so protected the Biden-Harris ticket, fawned over them. There was no due diligence. There was no effort to really take a hard look at what their positions were, what they would do. The operatives in the mainstream media just wanted Joe Biden, Kamala Harris in office. And so there was no vetting going on there at all. Yeah. It was opposite. There was protection going on. So the diplomatic piece and doing this at a time that it's not wide open fighting. Plus, I do believe that we had some over the horizon solutions. And remember, President Trump was very strong on deterrence. Yes. He was messaging directly to the Taliban. We hadn't had a soldier killed in the last 12 months that we were there, because he said, "You kill an American, you hurt an American, I will unleash everything on you." And so I think those three components.
Well, I agree, and that's exactly the point I made. Thank you, General. Sorry to cut you off, but we got a lot to get in. But I think that was a fantastic summary and shows that there really was a different way of achieving the aim, which so many people want to see, which is an end to the endless war whilst protecting our security and avoiding this kind of national humiliation. General, thank you so much. Great to see you tonight. All right, let's bring in our next.